Welcome back, gamers, to another exciting episode of Mediocre Gamers. I am the host with the most red and gray hairs in his beard, Travis Corey, INF Rebel, joined by Ollie, the Jelly Bean Monster himself, Kenny, the Jelly Bean Thorson, aka DMI Patriot. Special guest today, Eric Tyrrell of House Rels. He's also known as McJitters. First and foremost, what's it like to have a baby beard seeing these glorious manes on screen that you cannot achieve?
Well, I started to achieve it, but it feels really nice not having to just getting shoved in my mouth every 2 seconds. So
It's a
yeah,
flavor saver. So
uh,
you know how many times I'm in bed and I'm starving. I'm like, oh, here's some cheese. Oh, some syrup over here. What? Skittle. Boom.
Yeah, I actually like the taste of my beard.
Yeah.
Not so
Like,
much the taste of Travis's
oh,
though.
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't like to taste Travis. No.
Like when I was getting my things in, like the dentist, she kept pulling beer curds out of my mouth.
Ooh.
But anyway, today's episode, we're gonna review some games. We got Eric on here to talk about a couple video games that he's playing because we've been slacking on some reviews. Gonna be talking about some Call of Duty changes, of course. Season 5 is around the corner, and a new game that we're excited that we're actually gonna be streaming tonight called Grounded. Also, we're gonna talk a little about Xbox, PlayStation. Then we're gonna move over to some sports talk, some baseball, some basketball, football, and then we're gonna give you some like nice Marvel talk with some a couple other things as well for kind of our pop culture roundabout. So first things first, Eric, what game are you playing right now, and what do you like, dislike, and what could you sell us on?
I'm actually playing a few games as of right now. First on my list, the one that I've been playing mostly by myself and with another buddy of mine is called Deep Rock Galactic. Travis, you and I streamed, or you streamed it, and I played with you
Yeah,
once.
and I
It's
dominated it.
Oh yeah, it was great. Check back on that stream. Yeah, that was great. It's a pretty fun game. It's a first person shooter. There's four different classes that you can pick from: a driller, an engineer, a gunner, and a scout. And each have their own guns, their own equipment, and they all fill their own little role within the team. Usually, you want to have one of each in the team. Um, but it's basically a game. You get an objective. You go on a mission, so it's like kill these mini bosses or collect so much of the material, and the entire world in each cave is completely destructible, minus one or two things. So basically, you can pick at it. You can have a driller drill right through it. You can have the driller also has C4. You can blow a hole in it.
Kenny
It's
loves blowing things. So.
Oh, this game is perfect for you, man. It's just
Nice, very nice.
um, and basically, it is a dwarf. You are playing dwarfs in space, so there's plenty of beer. Um,
Yeah,
so you
I forgot to mention. I did a quick review. The one thing I did notice that it's not fun by yourself,
No, not at all.
and I'm still waiting for Snow White. So that's why I dig random holes because I'm trying to find Snow White
Snow White.
and the
Because
Seven
you're a
Dwarfs.
dwarf.
God, you ruined a
Like
perfectly good joke,
Jeez
bro.
Louise.
Oh my god!
this is what it's like with me and Travis. He says something, and I'm just like, wait, what? I'm a child. I'm a child. I don't. Ugh.
No, a child would have
Um,
got that
Child, you
reference.
should know who
yeah, they
makes
probably
Snow
would have too.
White. Yeah, children's stream. I'm trying to appeal to another crowd. I'm talking about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But anyway, go on.
Uh, but yeah, no, like you said, I'm not a big fan of playing the solo mode. The solo mode is kind of boring. You get a
Super
little
boring.
robot to help you out, but eh. Um, it has some RPG elements, so you can upgrade your guns, upgrade your just your character itself, the different gear that you use. There's a lot of customization, a lot of stuff that you can unlock down the road, cosmetic and weapon wise. Um, and then there's different bonuses depending on like it'll randomly spawn different bonuses on different missions, which are a lot of fun. Like low grav, enough said, you can jump really high, take reduced falling damage. I usually play the scout so I can grapple hook and just fling myself into the air, and it's a lot of fun.
And the one thing that bothered me though, I mean, I only played like very little. I know you played a
Yeah.
lot more in this. Just like the boss encounters that we kind of faced, it seemed like it was just straight up too easy. It was like easy mode. It wasn't really much of a challenge.
I
I
don't
mean, I
remember what.
know I'm on a limited basis. I know there's different difficulties, but like
Yeah,
whatever difficult, I think we're on 3, and it was pretty much just one of us hit it and he chased us, then the guy just shot him in the tail and got the kills. I mean, I
yeah,
mean, I just see. I'm assuming that different difficulties are later on. There's harder bosses, but kind of like the beginning, it wasn't much of a challenge, and it seems like
y-
one of those games you got to play like a while to get into and kind of get in the flow. It's one of those games that right off the bat, like, oh, this is a lot of fun.
yeah, and that's what me and my buddy Ryan had noticed, especially when we went back and played different classes that we hadn't been playing. I never play engineer. That's Ryan's class. I don't touch it. I just can't get into it. But playing it right off the bat, realized you don't have the upgrades, you don't have this and that. So playing on the higher difficulties, it is hard. Um, but yeah, with bosses, the dreadnoughts is what you're talking about. Those are relatively easy, and most likely probably because there's usually 2 or 3 that you have to kill per mission. So they
Yeah,
don't want you sitting there for, an hour and a half. They did recently, and I say recently, probably 2 months ago, added a new mini boss that's just a random encounter. So there's a lot of things that'll randomly spawn in each one. So there's a thing called a Betsy, which is a giant kind of mech droid kind of thing that has a bunch of a grenade launcher, a machine gun, and then something else like a shield to protect itself. That'll spawn. You can when you defeat it, you can repair it, and then it follows you around and deals damage to enemies. So it's really cool.
hmm,
But they added a new one called the Tyrant Sprout, I think it's called. That one is difficult, and
yeah.
we never saw it, Travis. But if
Is
if
it
you
like
saw
is
it,
it a random or is there like is there actual like boss fights? You know how like there's many bosses and an actual hard boss.
no, not currently, no. The
Second question,
dreadnoughts would be the
follow up.
closest thing to.
Is that Mrs. Sprouts from Harry Potter's kid?
Yes, yes, it's Mrs.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. I
Your references, man. um, uh, yeah. So basically, that tyrant sprout is it spawns this um, pod, if you will, and then around that pod is about 6 or 7 stalks um, that shoot at you, basically. And when you kill a certain amount of those stalks, it opens up to the center of the sprout. You got to shoot at it. After a
is
certain
it a bean sprout pod? No. Okay.
no.
I'll shut up. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
reached
yeah.
you reached for that one. I feel.
Yeah, it
I'll,
was,
I'll mute myself. God.
yeah. So basically, it opens up, you shoot it, and then after a certain amount, it closes up again. And then it'll spawn some healing pods too that'll heal it over time. And basically, every time that I've done it, we've had to call in resupply, like 2 or 3 resupplies, which on a normal mission you only maybe call in 1 or 2, but for that boss fight itself, you're calling in 2, 3, maybe 4
Oh,
to
so
keep
there
everybody.
actually is a challenge. Okay, that is
Yeah,
fun.
and that's just a random encounter. I've probably only seen it maybe 4 times, and I have 138 hours on the game.
Okay.
Could you say
So
that
yeah.
one more time? How many hours?
Well, I'm sorry,
How many hours?
138.
Damn, bud.
Yeah, dude. I play. Oh man, you should see some of the other like. I'm sure you guys have me blown out of the water on like Call of Duty and all that stuff. With
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
some of these
kids,
I
games.
you
think.
probably have like a 10 days.
Yeah, I'm pretty high up there.
I mean, my World of Warcraft, I'm probably years total time played. Like
I calculated
years.
mine in college for a while across all characters that I still had, and it was very close to 365 days.
Oh, easily. Like some of my characters, yeah, I wouldn't put it past. I'm over a year easy.
Jeez Louise.
So
Kidding.
some of these
So
games are just
as he obviously did a better job explaining it to me, you haven't played the game. You are very specific in your type of games, basically Hello Island, Kitty's Adventure, Paint by Number, stuff like that. Would this be something that you'd be interested in, or what could entice you? Things that he said that can maybe you thought could they added this to something I might want.
I think I don't know. When he was talking, I just kind of I got a I don't know. It none of it
Well, you're looking
interested
at
me.
your phone, being super rude to our guests. But okay.
No, but none of it really interested me. Like that, like I've watched other streams on it. Like I've researched it and stuff like that. It just doesn't. It's just not something that I would be into.
Right.
But I am kind of excited for Grounded tonight. So that is one game that because that looks super interesting and that in itself just looks like a different aspect. And
Yeah,
I've always
so-
wanted to be in Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
exactly
So
right.
So luckily I was, because back in the day, Universal actually had that before it returned into the Shrek show. So then the theater, remember, went and saw Shrek at Universal, it was Honey I Shrunk the Kids. And so you got sneezed on by a dog. So I showed this to Eric. Eric plays Ark, and he plays on the with his other buddies. They play it on like a private server. And they play Ark, and so this is kind of like Ark, Honey I Shrunk Your Kids. When I first showed it to him yesterday, he goes, "This is so stupid. It looks so childish, very kid-like." But then the more he started to watch it, he's like, "Okay, he's like, yeah, this actually might be kind of fun."
yeah, a lot of this I was reading into it a little bit more. There are a lot of items that aren't available right
Yeah.
now, like the building and the actual making other items and stuff like that. So where you find stuff and you build up other things. So I think that's somewhat in there, but not a bunch of it.
Yeah, and I was actually right before this. I was watching somebody play, and they were saying that they saw a few different enemies that are going to be coming in, including tadpoles, um, some other bug, and possibly birds, which would be horrifying to be that small and have a bird come in and just peck you.
Just a whole falcon just come out.
Do birds like swipe down at like worms and stuff? I don't know.
Mice.
They could be
maybe
walking around, like swoop down,
Because
walk.
I mean, if you look at it, we're smaller. Like in the game itself, the characters are smaller than like ladybugs.
Yeah.
I don't see birds swiping down at ladybugs.
No, but they could just be pecking at, like a big old chicken or something.
Okay, hold on. Do that again. What do chickens do?
Nope.
I need to. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope.
I just saw the prevent.
You know what a chicken pecking looks like.
Maybe we have viewers that don't, and you're driving them of a chicken pecking experience right now.
No, why don't you reenact it?
Give the viewer. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
God. Sorry, viewers. He hates people and fun. But so we're gonna be streaming that tonight, testing it out. It does look a lot of fun. It is a pre-release, so there's like you said, there's a lot of limited stuff, so we're not going to get to experience everything. But I think this is a super cool idea. I don't know if you ever played like Hello Neighbor. Like I never really got into that game, but that's kind of what it's like this little person. And you're like trying to build this adventures, and it has that feel like we're getting resources and supplies to build up forces, fighting off ladybugs and spiders and.
Well, it looked like there was a little bit more objectives to go around and do, compared to Arc, which you guys kind of went like, 130 hours on there. I have 620 hours on Arc, and that's pure sandbox.
Ladies,
that is pure.
He's single.
Hell yeah! You want to go catch some dinosaurs? Let's go do it. Yeah. But yeah, so like Arc is, you build what you want, you tame what you want. There's a few PvE things to do, like caves and stuff. But I'm interested to see in a more survival game that is more oriented towards possible more quests and actually doing instead of just fending for ourselves and figuring it out, there's kind of some direction to it, which I think a
Some
lot of games
goals,
don't
like,
have.
hey, go grab this. You're building towards something. To like, you're trying to get materials, unlock stuff, and build up your base and stuff. So, I mean, it does look interesting. I think it's a new concept, which is nice because I don't really think I've ever really seen anything like this. I mean, a lot of them like are just a bunch of rewashed crap, or there's not that many fresh ideas. So, I'm pretty
Right.
excited to test this game out tonight.
Have you guys played survival games before? Like,
No.
Didn't you play DayZ or whatever it is? I mean,
No,
I
I
played
didn't.
Farmville on Facebook. So same
Farmville.
thing.
Dude, don't get me started on Farmville. That was my jam in college, dude.
I mean, well, to be fair,
To be fair,
Ran back to the dorm just to
to be
check my
fair,
car.
we grew up in survival games because we had limited lives. So I mean, Nintendo arcade games. I mean, you only had like how many lives, and it was over. So same thing. Used to it. Throwback.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we check that out tonight. If you guys, we're checking that out tonight. So we'll give you a review next time because obviously this isn't live because I'm stupid and thought it was. Moving on, we're going to talk about Call of Duty. Season 5 is coming out. Eric doesn't really play Call of Duty, so he'll probably set out for this discussion. But as an outside observer, he does watch streams. He's a big time stream watcher. That's all he does at work. That's what he gets paid to do, apparently.
Apparently, according to him.
So
according to
Call of
Travis.
Duty, speculation is the stadium's going to open up. And that's pretty much I've really been following.
Yep, they're going to call it Verdansk Center is what it's going to be called. And it's going to be open up.
Call of Duty football team stadium?
No, because it's in Verdansk. So they're going to call it Verdansk Center.
Strike 2, boys.
Yep.
Yeah. One more, and we're kicking off the podcast. Dude.
Yep.
It'll be me and Kenny.
So what else are there? Like I haven't really been following. I know you follow
There's
a lot more than I
whole
do.
new faction coming in. And that means how they have the two groups, the two groups of operators. There's going to be a third one now, a third group of operators, and they're very specialized operators, so they'll have unique uniforms to go along with it. He looks pretty badass, the operator that they showed as a preview. So we'll get to see this hopefully on Tuesday. I think we are seeing a lot more people getting banned for cheating. That's starting to ramp back up. So because that's just ruining the game. People are just getting we ran into one last week where it was a guy was just running around just pretty much no scoping people with a Car 98 with no scope on it and just headshotting everybody. And that was his name.
To be fair, though, it was poopy headshots, wasn't it? Or
headshots only.
Yeah,
only headshots was his name.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. Come on.
I mean, he's trying
to hide it.
Yeah. I mean, he's out there in the open, but I mean, that's what sucks about it. I mean, because there's so many hackers, and like we've talked about in the past, it's not fun, But I mean, I'm hoping to see these new changes, and these new characters. So I mean, I know a lot of people they bring back like Captain Price and these other characters. A lot of people really like. I mean, the one thing that I didn't like about Blackout is there was no campaign. I really do enjoy the campaigns. There are actually a lot of fun, and I like the storytelling of it.
Actually, I did play a little bit of the campaign. I ended up getting the game, downloaded it, played a few of the Spec Ops missions, which were a lot of fun. Like the game is pretty fun. Got about halfway to 3/4 of the way through the campaign, and then it was one of those gigantic 45 gigabyte download patches, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good." I was already working on Arc.
They got much worse. They got much worse.
Kidding.
They're over there. The last update was like 84 gigs.
What are they adding? Like,
yeah.
what?
So when I was having issues when I set up my new stuff, I had to delete and reinstall, and it was over 200 gigabytes to reinstall it all.
You're a Call of Duty?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, like if I turn on my Xbox and like probably deleted my old Call of Duty, like even Blackout, I mean, there's probably 200-300 gigs in it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, going forward, if you think about it, like these next generation consoles, they're going to be limited space. I mean, that was always kind of the issue, because like I got the cheaper one starting out on Xbox, because I didn't know any better. And then you got to decide: are you going to cancel these games? Like, what games are you going to delete off to make room for new games? And so, I mean, that's something we've brought up. But they are going to have externals available to these. But what else is coming in season 5 that you've seen or are excited about?
There's most likely going to be a new sniper rifle coming, and I believe the name it's from Modern Warfare 2. I think it's called the Annihilator. I think that's where that's the one where everybody was doing all the quick scopes and stuff like that with the trick shots. So that's coming. Maybe a new AK variant gun that should be coming also. That's what it looks like. So I'm hoping that gun will be good. We need an AK variant that is.
Way to articulate that.
Well, I mean,
I hope gun good.
I hope gun good. No, but we need another gun to offset and make it so it's not the Grau, it's not the Bruin right now, and the MP5. So we need at least one more so it can even everything out.
Well, I mean, they should just balance them out, but they're terrible at that. But I was really hoping for some of my favorite guns from like Modern Warfare 2 or 3 that came back. I can't think of the top of the head, but I think I only used 2 guns in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, well, they brought back the Vector, and that thing is a hot piece of shit. So that was my favorite gun because you could run a gun with that really quickly, and it's a garbage gun now. So.
Oh, I think it's more of the user, not the gun. So I don't know why you got to put in a gun for your terrible shooting skills, but.
Yep.
I mean, it's always a hard balance to try to balance out these different guns and stuff because it is a lot of personal preference and they have to tweak them a little bit for here and there. But I mean, it would be nice if they're all balanced out so that you can get a fair shake out of all of them. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I really hope they get rid of these garbage sniper rifles in the gulag though. And I really hope they keep, my hope is to keep Stimulus in it because I don't like the Gulag. I think Stimulus is a much better game.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Stimulus is by far the best game mode right now.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Stimulus is, that's basically where as long as you have $4,500, as long as you have $4,500 to come back and you are killed, you immediately just fly back in. There's no gulag, nothing like that. You just automatically come in. If you don't have $4,500, your teammates can purchase you back. So it's
interesting.
It's really it's a lot more fun than normal, just because of that factor. And people are getting so many more kills with it because you just have people just flying back in at you. Like there was one time we were sitting on top of a roof, and people just kept trying to come back to their stuff and they just kept flying right back at us and we just shoot them out of the air. And it was like, we ended up like 15 kills and like, it was
yeah. I mean,
pretty awesome.
So the world record in duos is by Pictic and Oakboy, who are fantastic at the game, but they had 96 kills in one match on Stimulus.
Jesus.
Between the two, it was duos.
Yeah. The one thing I would like is either the Stimulus to be either the buybacks higher or yourself higher, so they're not the same. I'd like one of them to be different. So you'd have to have like 6,000 to come back or to buy someone back and to be more. I don't like it's both the same because it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, yeah, you obviously deploy back, but you can also get bought back for the same amount. I don't know. I think there should be a difference personally, but that's just little tweaks here and there that my personal preference.
Just from what you said, I feel like the automatic buyback in, like yourself, you should have more, and the buyback,
right?
Team buyback should be less because if you want the instant, you're using more resources to get back into the game faster compared to your teammates having to go to a buy station and pick it up.
I mean, that makes sense because you have to actually go somewhere to a buy station, make sure it's not camp to buy that person back. So yeah, I would like for yourself to come back to not go to the gulag would be to be a little bit more expensive. I don't think they should be the same price personally. What's your thoughts, Kenny?
I'm happy the way it is. I think $4,500 is solid, because even so, if you think about it this way, if $4,500 is the minimum across the board to even to buybacks, so that means somebody has to have $8,000 or $9,000 in their bank just to make sure that they can come back immediately, just to bring back the other person. So there is quite a bit of money that they have to keep in play there.
But I mean, it's just like
because I'm not gonna.
You're keeping that amount of money on you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think if it was more expensive, it would make it a little bit difficult, more changes too, because say you have 8,500, then you can buy a UAV and still buy yourself back. But say like get yourself back in the game with $6,000, you're not gonna be buying these UAVs or plates and other stuff. So I can see the kind of side of that too. It makes you kind of hoard your money a little bit more, and we all have teammates that don't like to share. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it should be a little bit more.
Was that a hint?
Not at him.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it should be, maybe it's like even 5,000 or something. I just think there should be a price difference to come back instantly yourself, to not go to the gulag, than to bring your teammate back. That's just me.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't totally disagree, but I personally feel that it's not needed on that end. But yeah, we should find out a lot more coming on Tuesday. That's when it should drop. Call of Duty has been known to do last minute changes, but they started dropping a bunch of hints and trailers this week, so it's definitely coming. Also, outside of the season, it does seem that Doritos leaked Call of Duty Black Ops. It's not a remaster. It is a Cold War, but it's going back to the 80s. So, or maybe even before the 80s. I don't know. Maybe into the 70s. I don't know when exactly, but it's going to be interesting. Or it could just be a whole different Cold War, not related to actual timelines.
So Antarctica?
Well, no, I mean not related to our timeline.
I'd fuck a polar bear.
I'd like to see you do that.
I was gonna say, for a bottle of Coke, yeah, hell yeah.
What I do is give him a Coca-Cola. Do you not watch commercials?
Yeah.
So dumb.
What about?
Such an asshole, man.
Speaking of asshole and grinding gears and ranting, Kenny, Xbox Gold is now free, or the option is removed. Take it away.
Yeah. So was it last week that they removed it from the store, so you can no longer purchase? I think it was last week.
I think it was last week or the week. It's recent. It's within the last 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah. Conveniently,
yours renewed.
Mine renewed like 3 weeks ago.
How are they not refunding those people back though? That's
renewed, and then I saw this fucking headline saying, "Oh, Xbox Gold removed." And I'm like, "What the? I just paid for it. I don't even have an Xbox right now. I'm not even using it. It just automatically came out." And I'm like, "Fuck this."
Can you get it back? Can you get refunded?
No, it's already been donated to the Bill Gates Foundation. It's already been used to vaccinate.
Foundation. Get the foundation correct.
It's already been donated. I already cured 2 kids of malaria.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Money well spent, I guess.
Yeah. The tax write-off. For $1 a day, you can feed and clothe. You can give a kid an Xbox Live subscription.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm lucky. Mine auto renews in January, so I'm.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I mean, I should probably cancel one because I haven't played Xbox and I probably won't. But I mean, if you look at it, like back in history, like PlayStation or PlayStation Network was free for the longest time, and Xbox has always charged you. And then now, like PlayStation charges you, and now Xbox free, so it's kind of reversal. So I don't know if they're trying to do this ahead of the launch to get more units. I just read a report that they're saying the PlayStation 5 is going to have the shortest system life of all the systems ever created. It says it's only going to probably last you 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And the reason is because every year, you can tell on video games or on computer games, the graphics and even the graphic systems that they need to pump out for those things are getting exponentially larger, and you need more memory, a lot more graphics power behind it to push those games. Like Cyberpunk coming out, like that thing's I don't know what it's going to take to put, like, if you max that thing out, like what kind of graphics card you're going to need to max that thing out.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking about the system not dying. Like we had the red screen of death or whatever, the blue screen of black, whatever it was. They're talking about the system just lasting period of 5 years, like as the previous ones were 6, 7, and 8 years.
Like the hardware is going to crap out faster.
Yeah, they're saying like the power supply, all that stuff's not going to last. They said the shelf life is 5 years. I don't know. And then on top of that,
money.
I think they're talking about shipping like 120 million units, where the PlayStation 3 and 4 came nowhere close to that number. PlayStation 2, I think it's all-time highest, like 160 or something. So they're thinking that they're going to have huge sales going on with this system. So I don't know if that's why they're cutting corners and trying to crank out more systems.
Well,
so it's not going to last as long.
And it's possible because of COVID, because they probably got a late start on that, because they had to start right when they had to start producing right when COVID hit. So, and it was and it's being produced in China, from my understanding.
Everything's produced in China.
Well, but I mean in Wuhan, and in that general area that was closed down. So
they have, like, if I watch this Netflix series History 101, they talk about these China zones that they built, like specialized cities that all they do is just produce goods. And so there's a lot of these zones that just all they do is crank out products. So, I mean, there might be a different factory that they shifted over to, but I mean, maybe that's why we're not getting release dates or prices yet, because we don't know the impact of COVID. And, you know,
well, with factories, you know, a lot of factories and stuff, you know, being so clumped together, the people are so clumped together, that's just that's not social distancing, so you got to watch out. So
that's America. No, this is China. We don't know what
but that's true. That's very true.
What is it? Tsar Mao or Chow or whoever's in charge over there, they can do whatever they want. But I mean, it's exciting. I mean, and then on top of that, they're talking about even the PlayStation 5. I just read an article today that the white cover, and they're talking about even having like you can replace them, so you can like customize different colors of your wireless router that is the PlayStation 5.
The wireless
router. I don't even know what I would put on it.
I love the memes that came out of the
So I have Zoran.
You know there's going to be a case.
That one,
you know there's going to be a case.
Or is that one like for real? Did you think it funny?
No, that's like it was a meme. That was a meme that was out.
Okay, I thought you were being original for once. My bad.
Oh, cool. No, yeah, I can't do that.
So, I mean, the next PlayStation event, it was rumored for August 6th. Hopefully, we get another price and stuff like that. They have said that they're not just going to like ninja sneak the release out, so they are going to tell people, "Hey, this is when the release is going to be," so you can be prepared to try to go online and have all the internet crash. Lastly, with our gaming stuff, we're going to talk about the Xbox event. They showed some stuff. I wasn't really blown away by it. I thought it was kind of meh. But maybe that's because PlayStation.
The Halo thing.
Maybe it's maybe it's because PlayStation moved to the punch. I mean, I wasn't wowed by it by any means at all. So I don't know. Were you like, oh, this is awesome? Like, it looked kind of stupid. The only thing that really I got excited about was Fable, because that game was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I played the crap out of Fable ages ago.
I think Forza for me was probably the only thing, but outside of that, I do want to try to get into some racing games. especially since I got a nicer computer and everything now, so I can do that.
Did you end up getting a CB radio for your race car bed so you can talk to other race car beds?
I did not know.
Okay, well, put it on your Amazon wish list. Your birthday's coming up.
I have an adult bed with a headboard, sir.
With headlights, it looks like a race car bed. All right, changing gears. We're gonna talk to
changing gears, nice.
Oh, I didn't mean to make a pun. Look at that. That was a happy accident. Bob Ross, that bitch.
Oh, fuck.
So baseball has started, and the Miami Marlins clearly broke protocol because they have 17 players that tested positive and a few staffers. This is a nightmare scenario for sports. On top of that, basketball kicks off today. The difference between basketball and baseball right now is that all of the teams in basketball are quarantined in Orlando, and that's where they're going to play all their games, where baseball is not. So time will tell who's going to do it better, but clearly the Miami Marlins did something because the whole team basically tested positive. So they must have been out partying because there's all these restrictions. They're not supposed to go to clubs, all this other stuff.
Shared the same hooker.
And I think, especially the Miami, but I mean, they were talking, like, if you try to quarantine all these baseball teams, there's people that make so much money. They're like, screw that. I don't want to be quarantined away from my family. But on top of that, their rosters are just so much bigger than, basketball. So where are you going to put all these people?
And
so I don't even know if sports is going to continue. It's very frustrating, especially with football around the corner and training camps. Yeah. College football is basically all SEC, Big Ten, all these are saying we're only playing each other. We're only doing division games. Makes zero sense. Whatever. I'm just hoping that they can get it under control and we can continue to have sports. Otherwise, I think this is all going away and we're not going to have sports for a while.
Yeah. Unfortunately, NFL is doing the same thing that the MLB is doing, where they're doing like the isolation, where it's like self-isolating, and then they have stipulations that you need to do. They are testing daily, though.
Baseball, though.
And then they're going to keep doing that, and as long as it stays below 5% for the first 3 weeks, then they'll go to every other day, and then if it kicks back up above 5%, then they'll start back at daily testing. So
I mean, the one thing that I can tell you right now is Adam Silver is the commissioner of the NBA, and he's by far, I think, the best commissioner in sports right now. Rob Manfred's an idiot. Well, Goodell's a clown. But, I mean, it's like Mansfield doesn't care about his players. He's basically left it up to the players if they want to play or not. And, like, a lot of, like, the end of the roster type of guys, they want to get paid. They want money. So obviously they're going to play. It's the same way with the NFL. Like, their careers are so short that they're trying to get their money now. If they don't play, they're not getting paid.
Yeah. So NFL also, they're not going to do the 3 preseason games. Those are out the door.
Good.
I don't like them in the first place. The place that does hurt is the people that are on the bubble of making the team. Like, how do you
evaluate?
Yeah. And
they do that in intense training camps. I didn't really think the preseason, it is what it is. But I mean, we saw here in baseball that they put in a new rule. If it goes into extra innings, they put a runner on second base, and they literally won the game with 0 hits because the guy got on second base. It was a sack. It was a bunt, and a sack fly, and the guy. That's how they won. So they're trying to speed things up and change some things. So I mean, I think now is the time to kind of try this like experimental or different stuff, because we know that there's going to be this condensed type of stuff like the NBA with this playoff scenario. I think that's really interesting. So I think maybe good things might come out of this, but people like the players need to start taking this serious, because if they don't want to play, then they can opt out and not play. But
yep. Well, there was in that Kansas City lineman who's a doctor in Canada did opt out of his contract because of it. He said he wasn't.
Yeah.
He said if he was going to risk giving people a virus or getting a virus, he'd much rather do it helping other people. So he opted out of his country. He's a doctor in Toronto.
We've seen that across the board, with like Pat Tillman, Coffee, other people that they're like, okay, I want to go help other people. So they got out of sports and they joined the military and did other aspects as well. I mean, we saw like a couple of 49ers players a couple of years ago retire young because they wanted to save their body and do something else. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't have a good answer for you, but I do enjoy watching sport. I hope, we can get this stuff, but you have to do it in a safe and secure way.
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got for sports. You got anything else to add, or you want to move over to pop?
Yeah, actually, I got one more thing. You did say that a lot of the teams are playing in their own conferences.
Yeah, for college football.
Yeah, for college, which is crazy because Notre Dame is but they're joining the ACC. So for this season. And that they're playing only that.
They have okay. So Notre Dame, sorry to interrupt you, they had a contract basically to play in the ACC in basketball, and I think they had a contractual thing for football for like 5 or 6 games. But they basically a basketball team did it. I know the Big Ten's been trying to get them forever, but I mean, you got other teams that are independent, like Army and Navy. They don't really have they're independent, so they don't really have a.
I don't think that they're playing this year. I don't think aren't they opting out of everything?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. I literally just heard on the radio today. I know the SEC is doing a 10-game schedule.
Yeah, but so the ACC added in Notre Dame, and so they're the 11th team, and then they're playing 10 games.
Yeah, that's I think what most of them are playing 10 games. But the only thing that kind of is bothering me is that these conferences must have their own specific rules to their divisions. Because obviously we live in Iowa. Iowa and Iowa State are an hour and a half apart, but they're in different conferences, so they can't play each other. So we're going to miss out on these in-state rivalry games because some of them are in different conferences, which makes zero sense because we're basically in the state following our own guidelines.
Yeah,
like if we wanted to go to Chicago, we have to, get tested and get pre-screened and all this other stuff. So I don't know how they're going to do this with all these different state regulations.
Yeah, because they're going to be going. I was going to be going to Maryland. Like that's crazy to me. Like
it makes zero sense to me that they're allowing this because every state has their own different mandates and how they're going to do stuff, and then they're going to allow special circumstances. No, and because then people, ordinary people are going to call for, hey, why do they get special treatment? But
yep.
Anyway, that's enough sports talk. Let's get into the real cusp. I watched a video on potential people that could have played Marvel characters. Okay, so there was 2 other people that tried out for Captain America. One was John Krasinski of The Office, which a lot of people know, but this one I didn't know. Jensen Ackles of Supernatural originally auditioned for Captain America, and they offered
that's Sam or Dean?
Dean Winchester.
Oh,
and then they went with Chris Evans, but they offered him Hawkeye, and he turned it down. He did not want to play Hawkeye.
Oh, he would have been a good Hawkeye.
Yeah, and then I remember Jeremy Renner came out, I think Robert Downey Jr. talked him into it, and in the first movie, he was just basically a mindless robot, didn't even really act, and he was upset about it. And then the next one was the original Spider-Man. They wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play. And he turned it down, and he said, "Hey, you should check out my friend Tobey Maguire." And that's basically how Tobey Maguire got it because Leo gave him this information.
Well, glad he turned it down because Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I mean that would have been weird. Yeah. I mean, and then one that I'm kind of wish happened. Jason Momoa was offered Drax, but he turned it down because he was tired of playing these big tough guy roles.
Oh. Yeah, but Dave Bautista did it.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have got one of the greatest lines ever. Why Gamora?
I've got one better for you. Why Gamora?
Next one, Joaquin Phoenix was originally offered Doctor Strange, but there was too much press, and we all know he doesn't like that, so he turned it down. And this one, I couldn't imagine Who do you think they originally wanted to play Iron Man?
My gut instinct was Nick Cage, but
No.
there is one that Nick Cage would have gotten.
Superman. They tried.
Was it Superman? Yeah.
Superman. Yeah. No,
So
and
you
it was
guys
like
Nick Cage.
that was
Kenny, what's your guess?
the Superman was originally going to be like the who did Edward Scissorhands?
Johnny Depp.
No, I mean
Tim Burton.
It was a Burton movie playing Superman Burton movie. It was fucking weird. I saw the pre-screenings of that stuff and it was so weird. But
I'm gonna look that up after this.
The original Iron Man, Kenny, what is your guess? Huge movie star.
Jim Carrey?
No. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise turned it down because the suit covered too much of his face when he was going to be on camera. That's why he turned it down.
God, he is such a little man complex.
Right. Like that just I love how he does his own stunts and other movies, but that was like, are you serious? Next up, there was two, Black Widow and Peggy Carter. They both originally wanted Emily Blunt to be those roles. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine. Peggy Carter was okay, but like Scarlett Johansson's kind of killed it. And then one that kind of was weird to me, Iago from Guardians 2. They originally wanted Matthew McConaughey.
It makes sense.
Who?
Star-Lord's dad. Ego. Yeah. So there was a couple things that I saw. I mean, like you can even think about like the Matrix. They're supposed to go to Will Smith originally, and it goes to Keanu. So I mean, there's all these little happy accidents that happen, and it's kind of hard to imagine like these characters because they're so iconic now. Like not having them. Yeah. Spider-Man's really not that big of a deal to me because we've had 3 of them so far, and we're well technically 4 if you count Into the Spider-Verse.
And that's my favorite one. That's honestly my favorite Spider-Man movie is Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, really? I mean, it was great. Isn't it? Speaking of Nicolas Cage, he's in it.
Yeah, right.
It's Kevin Bacon, that bitch.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy to think this. Some of these people that like pass on these projects and they go on to have these amazing roles and they kill it. So I mean. But I mean, it's just sometimes weird. It's like if you could imagine these people like being in it. But yeah. So those are some of the characters that they or actors that really wanted to play this. Speaking of, is some characters. We talked about the Marvel shows got pushed back, like Loki, WandaVision. They all got pushed back due to all this stuff. What is some shows, lesser known shows you'd like to see? Like mine is hand down. I want to see Gambit. I want to see a Gambit movie. I want to see a Gambit show. I want to see Gambit in my house. I want the cards thrown at my face.
Well, wasn't Channing Tatum lined up to do a movie?
Yeah, he was, and he fell through, and then they got another guy lined up to do it. So we'll see if it happens. But
yeah, he's a producer on it, I believe now.
Yeah, because he's from New Orleans or somewhere in there, like that Asian thing, so that's why he was originally part of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For me, I want to see more Xmen. I want to see what Disney's going to do with that. I want a goddamn Jubilee movie. Give me a fucking Jubilee movie.
You're going to be the only person in the theater to watch that. A Jubilee origin story? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Give me some fucking fireworks out the goddamn hands.
Woo! I'm going to buy you some fireworks. Okay, dude, I'm going to buy some fireworks. We're going to tape them to your hands.
I already do that. I already do that with Roman candles, man. Just fucking shoot them. Dude, Jubilee is my favorite X-Men.
Dude, no one
or X-Woman. I mean, because we're inclusive.
Yeah, it's 2020.
X-person. X-Mutant. I don't know how. I'm surprised they haven't tried to cancel that. To be honest with you, in 2020, seriously, I'm surprised it's really X-Men.
If you think about it, it's like Latin X. I mean, that's the X. They just reversed it.
X pronoun. I mean, whatever, man. But I mean, I mean, yeah, I don't think I could get into a Jubilee origin story. I just can't. I don't think she's that good of a character. I know you love her
Well,
to death, and I'd like to see since a lot of people we have all these streaming services. I like to see the first class movie. I'd like to see that into a series.
I
Like
was just
here
gonna
is
say that, and
like the
instead of doing
X-Men, like
some
how they come
specific,
up. Yeah, just kind of how like that movie, the first how they came together. Just kind of kept like builds on that, kind of how they come along. I mean, that would be a killer series for Marvel or X-Men because there's so many X-Men on both sides, bad and good, and you can filter in and out of it.
well, and you could go deeper into it because you wouldn't have this, 2 hour, 2.5
Yeah,
hour for
exactly.
time frame to squeeze in all that exposition, all that, backstory. You could actually sit there and explore, one episode, go into Jubilee and go through her, the origins of her and some of the X-Men.
Yeah, she shows up, she's worthless, she goes away.
Hey, sprinkles, and then it's just down, and that's the origin story.
I do like
Oh, yes.
I do like that idea. If they do something like what was that robot series on Netflix where they had individual directors directing individual episodes.
Transformers.
No.
Oh, Love, Sex, and Robots or something like
Yes,
that?
there we go. Love, Sex,
I have no idea what that is.
and dude, it's a phenomenal series
Love,
of
Sex, and Robots.
yeah, something I don't know, something like that.
So what is okay? Explain. I don't
So
know
basically,
what
they
you're talking
have directors that are telling a story how they want to tell it. So they have writers and they pair them with a director, and then they design. It's some are live, human. Some are animated and stuff like that. But they're all different stories. So I think you could do something much like that.
So
regarding this,
is it like this? Like say, okay, is it like the same subject and then everyone just tells a different version of their story, or is it just all completely different?
all
stories?
completely different stories.
Okay.
So I think you could do that. I think if you have the Marvel universe, they have a direction that they want to go. They just like with The Mandalorian, that was almost every one of those episodes were directed by a different director, but they all had the same idea of where they wanted to go with it, and you can tell that the stories were told completely different, but it all was super cohesive. And I absolutely, that's what I loved about The Mandalorian. Could you not tell that at all?
No, could not tell that at all.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was a story, and I followed the story.
No,
I didn't.
Well, it's okay. He's a little bit of a simpleton. It's fine. It's fine.
Very true.
No,
Very
but
true.
I like Star Wars.
Make done good. I mean,
Baby Yoda. He's cute.
100%. You gave me I'm just like, where's Baby Yoda? What's going on? I don't care about this other crap. Keep Baby Yoda alive.
Where is your Baby Yoda? Where's mine at?
Downstairs somewhere.
Damn it.
Mine's
not in here. Mine's in the other room. Yeah, we have a plushie of a Baby Yoda now. So.
Oh.
But I'm like I like the next books. I think there's just so many characters and so many different arcs that they could take. I mean, especially Eric plays Marvel Strike Force as well, so we're huge into that and
nerds
learn about these different characters. And
yeah, and well,
don't mock it. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of time consuming and it's really frustrating with some of the RNG, but it's still it's a fun game, especially when you can get a bunch of characters that synergize with each other. Guardians for the win.
Always releasing new characters and stuff, but I mean, because I didn't really know much. Like speaking of the first class, I really didn't know much about Emma Frost or whoever Kevin Bacon's character was, and that's how Magneto got his helmet. So I mean, I like to learn that kind of stuff because I mean, I love X-Men. I mean, you got this cartoon that really was my childhood, and I just think the X-Men movies have just been so poorly done. They're just so bad, and I really hope they fix that franchise because it is such a great, set of characters. I mean, there's so many different little intriguing things, these mutations that make them just a little bit different, different power, and all that stuff, and that would just kill.
Well, and then the fact that there's so many different storylines. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of, the Marvel and DC do the same thing, that they have like multiple universes, and so they can tell different stories without necessarily retconning anything. So they can, they have plenty of material to pull from. Kind of going off what Kenny was saying, like with that Love, Death, and Robots, um, you could almost have like a mini series per uh, mutant if you want, or a pair of mutants. Like obviously Jean Grey and what's his name, Cyclops. Obviously, those two are paired pretty well. So having those two kind of, bouncing back between them and them meeting and being some of the first X-Men, um, would be interesting as hell. I mean, you'd have to cast right, I mean, because some of the casting in the original stuff was a little cringe, but I mean, they found Hugh Jackman for Wolverine, and I don't.
Killer. But I mean, if you look at then what they did to Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, like then what Ryan Reynolds did with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, they completely just destroyed it.
Yeah.
And then he luckily saved it, and then went back and killed himself in the movie. Spoiler alert. But I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, comic books are as huge as ever. I mean, Comic-Con is still one of the biggest things ever. San Diego obviously is the kingpin of it, but I think there's so many things that they could do. And now that Disney's behind it with Marvel, I mean, it's just a juggernaut waiting to be unleashed. And I'm really excited.
Juggernaut is a
I did it again. I'm the Punisher.
Yeah, that was strike three, man. That was strike three. Sorry, buddy. No, but to answer your question, another one for a possible series that I'd love to see, because it was kind of teased and it was kind of mentioned by a couple actresses, but Squirrel Girl. Also, speaking of Marvel Strike Force, she just came out in the game, but because she was almost, from my understanding of her, she was more of like a kind of a joke, because she's freaking OP as hell, dude.
But I mean, she's technically a young Avenger, as is Miles Morales. I mean, so they could, have this, even like a cartoon, like these young Avengers for like this, the next generation, basically for lack of a better term, next generation. There's these younger, as like these other Marvel characters want to get out, like Thor, Iron Man, they all like, the actors are kind of over it. You have this next generation we could bring in with Miss Marvel, with Miles, Squirrel Girl, stuff like that. So, I mean, that'd be interesting to see as well. I mean, if they can transition that and kind of try to bring the next young Avengers up.
Right.
Kind of like how, DC did with Robin and his friends. Teen Titans.
There you go. I was like, I know what you're talking about.
So I mean, I think that's something that would be very, interesting. And with that, you introduce these people to these new characters. You have Marvel and Disney behind it to drive it full force. So I would be successful if it's done correct, because they have a lot of great vision. But speaking of Netflix, Sabrina got canceled, and they're just been canceling so many great shows and series, and it's literally starting to irritate me. I don't know if it's because there's going to be too much money involved, like Sabrina, that was a huge hit that got canceled. Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant, that got canceled. I mean, they're canceling all these great shows, and it's really irritating.
I think what they're doing, from what I understand, is they're canceling a lot of stuff because if they're mostly just a hit in the United States, that's not good enough for them. They need stuff that opens up to other markets also. So I think that's one of the reasons why Designated Survivor got canceled also. Because that was
Designated Survivor was on network television.
It was, but it got purchased. The last season was done on Netflix. It was a Netflix original. Yeah. Okay. It was produced and everything by that. So, and it switched to the 10 episode format in season 3. But so that's what they're looking for, is they're looking for wider audience, so they can get more subscriptions coming in that way. That's the only way they're going to be able to do it. So it's more cost effective to do. That's why you see a lot of those Spanish movies coming in and stuff like that. Also because they're dubbed in English, but damn, some of these are good movies.
I mean, I think Eric told me about one of the TV shows. It's in Spanish, didn't you? It's like,
Yeah,
might
Money
have been on
Heist.
Prime. Yeah, Money
It was
Heist.
on Netflix. Yeah, it's got 4 seasons. It's a really long, like it's like an hour-long episode, and there's like 13 episodes or something. But man, that is one show that, well, I didn't know that it was dubbed in English. So I started it and I was like, I guess I'll just read the subtitles. And then I got so used to reading the subtitles. And then I talked to a coworker who had also watched it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you can watch it in English, right?" I was like, What?
Dude, I hate that. I do that.
What?"
I do
And
that
then
with anime all the time.
and then I tried it, and it felt weird because you get used to the voices of who's
Yeah.
who, and the extra, because obviously when you dub, you don't get as, at least for me, you don't get as much of an emotion, I guess, because it's not the character in, or the
See,
actor in the
I don't like dubs because I look at their mouth, and if it doesn't line up, it
doesn't match up.
irritates me. Like sometimes if I get like a lag and there's like a second or two, and then they talk, that just drives me crazy. And that's all I can focus on. But like I know Netflix is also, they've been trying to push this huge anime content because
Yep, just
especially
go through Netflix, and
in
that's true.
Asia, there's so much anime, and like I really am starting to enjoy it a lot. I like the stories of it. The only thing that like you can tell, they spend all their money on girls' boobs. I mean, every girl that's what they focus on. But I mean, the stories are great. And I'm learning a little Japanese.
Oh yeah, konnichiwa.
Not no, like Miso's like my brother. I think I don't really know, but I can recognize words and stuff on it. But I mean, anime is huge, and there's just so many of them coming. But like I said, if I watch some old ones, I'll do it in the dub, and then like when I get to later ones, and I have to switch over to Japanese, and then I got to read the subtitles. Which if you want to read a book, there you go. You're getting a mind workout. Like,
Yeah, there you go,
like
man.
see, like people always say, like my kid's not reading. Put on closed caption, mute the TV, boom, child's reading.
There you go.
Parenting solved.
It's a wonder why you're not a parent.
But what also is coming to Netflix is Chronicles of Narnia. They're having a series, a TV. I believe it's a series coming about Narnia, and I really enjoyed those movies and those books. So I mean, that's exciting as well. That's coming. I know they're trying to. And then another one that I was telling Kenny about is called Gray Man, and they've already basically have Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. It's about a spy who chases this other spy across the world, trying to like kill him. So, and they're putting like $200 million behind this series on that. And they, obviously, but if you look at it, there's a lot. Like they have a deal with Adam Sandler, Ryan Reynolds has done a couple of movies, Chris Hemsworth just did one, Charlize Theron. I mean, they have these movies that are going straight to Netflix. They're really, really well done.
The the Theron movie ultimately was one of their best direct to Netflix movies that they've ever had. It just knocked it out of the park with views over the first weekend and stuff. Same with Extraction. That was amazing for them. They do have a couple misses. There was another one. I don't know what it was called. I don't know, but it was like the last. It was like the last. The last crime in America or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay,
that movie was garbage.
Yeah, I mean, so there are hits. They do that with their series too, that are hit or miss. Some of them are like gold, some of them are just trash. But I mean, it's all
Umbrella Academy coming out tomorrow.
Oh, Umbrella Academy coming out. I really enjoyed that. Although
Excited.
Ellen Page can't act for shit. Like I noticed that in the first season. Like she is terrible.
Yeah, I'm
not a fan of her. She was. I like
my boy Klaus though. You can't go wrong with Klaus.
In Inception, I liked her. I think she had a really good role in that. But Umbrella Academy, I don't know if it was just her character, but I didn't like how it was done.
She was really good in Juno. Juno is probably my favorite movie. She's
come back and said that she regrets saying the word gay.
Was gay or something like that. Yeah, that's so gay.
Because she's a lesbian now, or it could have been then. I don't know. But she's like, yeah, I really regret saying that.
It's okay. Like you were a character.
But that's also
you're playing someone.
That's a sign of the times, though. I mean, there's a lot of things that were said, 20 years ago that are not said now.
Dude, there's so much stuff that would not even fly today. Like one of my favorite shows of all time is Married with Children. There's no way that would fly today.
Yep.
But speaking of stuff that's way back in the day, Beavis and Butthead's coming back, and they're dead, so they finally get laid.
Oh, baby.
So I'm excited about that. And then I think lastly, the one thing I wanted to bring up
Mhm.
crosses video games and movies is Uncharted Nathan Drake. Tom Holland is going to play Nathan Drake in an Uncharted movie.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they had this bad stigma of video games and like movies like Super Mario, Mortal Kombat.
I just saw a review, like
I mean, I literally just watched
CinemaSins for that.
I
It was
just literally
great.
watched Double Dragon and forgot how terrible that action is, but I love it. But I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I think the one that kind of saved it was Resident Evil was really done, and then it got kind of out of hand. So but, I
Yeah,
mean, Tom Holland, he is a big name now, and I really hope that they can make this done. I mean, like Tomb Raider, the newest Tomb Raider was really well done. With I don't know the girls.
yeah, Alicia Vikander.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
I think. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I know I know stuff.
It was a very
Yeah.
good. It was a
never
very
said
good
you
movie.
did, but I mean, I have high hopes for it because I mean that game was a lot of fun. PlayStation exclusive.
I didn't play it.
Oh, you did?
Um,
It was cool.
No, I
so.
didn't get to play it. No, one of the things, because people were, I think they were talking about the whole Tom Holland thing. One, I just hope they can make him look a little bit more mature because he's kind of got that baby face. So taking him seriously in that kind of role is going to be a little weird.
Yeah, because he's kind of like a striking like dude in the game, like
Yeah,
kind of
like a
kind of
handsome
like a
man.
young Indiana Jones, kind of like
Yeah.
badassery, and he's kind of yeah. So I guess you might be right there. That might be kind of weird.
He's gonna have the physicality to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Spider-Man, the fact that he did most of his stuff there. But no, what's it? Nathan Fillion. Somebody took they did a deep fake of the game and put Nathan Fillion's face on it, and it was amazing. And actually, I think Nathan Fillion did a short where he was Nathan Drake. It just sucks that Nathan Fillion is getting old and probably
He's so
can't
old.
do those kind of movies.
Yeah, he's getting close to 50. I would assume he's getting up there.
Yeah.
So
It just kind of sucks, man, because I'm a huge fan of Nathan Fillion. I mean, Firefly.
Dude, why haven't they brought that show back? And they brought back all these dumpster shows. Like Firefly is a huge cult hit. Like, why haven't they brought that back?
I watched all the episodes, and then I watched the actual watched Serenity the movie, because I remember watching Serenity way a few years ago or whatever years ago. Saw it, didn't know it was tied to Firefly. Somebody introduced me to Firefly. I watched all of it and then Serenity, and I cried like a baby on the few deaths that were in
Oh,
that movie.
spoiler!
There's death in all movies. Get out of here. Well, most movies.
Not Bambi.
no, if the movie or
we
TV show has been out for over a year, it's free game. You can't.
Yeah.
It's your fucking fault.
I didn't say who died, so there you go. Spoiler free.
Tired of
You're
your
a Mediocre Games
spoiler alert. Dude, I went to go see like Titanic when it was in the movie theater. Dickhead behind me goes, "Dude, boat sinks, ruined it. Didn't even go watch it." Fucking A, man.
Oh,
Bruce Willis is dead the whole time.
But how long have we been talking?
we are an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. I think that really just wraps up what I got. You guys got anything else? Any final thoughts or things you want to get out there into the multiverse?
No. I think that what I'm excited about, you kind of cut me off from the Xmen conversation.
Oh, I'm so
How
sorry.
dare you, Travis?
And
I literally
horrible host, man.
I
You're
literally
a
asked
horrible
him, like, "Hey, I feel like I cut you off too much. Please say something." And he goes, "No, you're fine." And then he finally told me. So let's go.
well, I just don't think I made the case for Jubilee. No.
Sparkles.
No, with Xmen, New Mutants supposedly coming out in September. So I am super excited about that.
Finally.
They did a shit ton of reshoots on that. So they filmed it 2 years ago, two or 3 years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago. Like either 2017 or 18 when it was the original. Because I remember we were going to the movie theater and they covered the poster.
Yeah, Maisie Williams is in it. So it's gonna be really interesting. It's super dark. It's more maybe scary movie-esque Xmen. So I really want to know what they're gonna do with it and to see whether or not that's going to be canon or if it's going to be kicking off X-Men moving forward in the Marvel universe. I don't think it's going to be under the Disney moniker. I think it's still going to be under Fox's moniker. But still, I think.
Well, because I think it's a little bit too dark for Disney. Like, cause I remember we talked about one of the previous episodes that they're talking about bringing Punisher back, but not on Disney Plus. It's going to either go to FX or FXX or Hulu. Because I can see that because they're trying to keep that that.
And same with
family image
Deadpool.
Or whatever.
Deadpool is going to also be on still be under the Fox moniker, from my understanding. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I think that wraps it up.
Well, speaking of Maisie Williams, they started casting for the Game of Thrones prequel.
Yep, heard about that.
So we might be getting that here, sometime in the near future.
As long as it's not those two guys who absolutely butchered season 8. I'm not sure if I really am looking forward to the prequel.
Well, I think it might be different characters in the past, but
it'll be definitely different.
The one thing that they basically all movies are getting pushed back 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
which is it sucks.
Fucking Top Gun. My girlfriend didn't like. I was like to my girlfriend. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Sick brag, bro.
Yeah, cool.
I got a girlfriend.
I was like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "What? What?" And I was like, "Top Gun got pushed to 2021," and she immediately was not happy with me. But yeah, it's because it's important.
She doesn't like Top Gun. What's her issue with Top Gun?
I don't know. I told her that there's going to be a beach volleyball scene, and she evidently didn't want any part of it still.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna tell you. What we're gonna do this weekend? Me and you, we're gonna surprise her. We're gonna go play volleyball with our shirts up in jeans, with tape around our hands. Recreate it, shot for shot. Boom, she's in love.
Glistening chest fro.
Yes,
that's what we're gonna get going on there.
Bring the baby oil. We're gonna glisten.
Oh my goodness. God damn it! We could sell
anybody in the Iowa State general area. Stay away from any beach volleyball courts this weekend.
We're going to sell pay-per-view. It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah. There's actually one near your place off 73rd and Grand. There's like that volleyball thing right there.
Yep.
Oh sure, just tell people where I live. Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, let me give him. He's also by. But that's going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I thank you, Eric, for coming along.
Thanks for having me.
He does play a lot of different games, so I like to get his insight, and he is a big nerd like us. He has glasses, so you can tell. on cue!
Damn straight, dude.
So we might have a...
Hey!
Those are fake. So we might be having, Eric back on. They're not prescription. They block your Blu-ray lights or whatever, UV lights
they do.
or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
But
so still glasses.
You guys, I might try to get some more guests on here or there to get some different perspectives and so you can see lesser beards. But I appreciate you guys our conversations today. It was a lot of fun. Next time, we're gonna check out Grounded tonight, so we'll have that review and hopefully we'll keep this theme going. So appreciate you guys stopping by. And Jubilee sucks. Any other exit things for you guys?
Got him.
All right. Peace out.
Eric, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? I don't know. In the comments below, tell me some random games that you want me to play, and I'll play them, and then I'll review them for this podcast.
There you go. Send your feedback.
There you go.
Kenny, it's your final thought to get Jubilee in. If I was in charge, I would have cut it right there.
We still can. But no.
I don't want to do that. You cut yourself off.
My final thoughts is I'm excited about new Call of Duty release. Super pumped to pre-order PlayStation and can't wait to go back to the movies. That's my biggest thing.
Oh yes,
This is killing me. I want to get back to the movies.
Sorry, one final thought. Is the new Black Ops going to have a battle royale?
No, it will not. The the Warzone will mold into the bring in those.
They're not going to mold in Blackouts from Black Ops 4?
No.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Nope. So.
All right, guys. Thanks, gamers, nerds, and all everyone in between. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Peace out.